Hi everyone, welcome back into My Chamber TV, the heartbeat of the Tampa Bay community. I'm your host, Barbara Marville Kelly. Thank you so much for joining us. We are here at the Whistle Stop Grill, right in the heart of Safety Harbor, featuring the Safety Harbor Chamber of Commerce. And with me right now is my next guest, Mr. J. Craig Wright with Fidelity Funding Financial Corporation.
Correct.
Did I get that out?
Fidelity Funding Mortgage Corporation. But
okay,
that's all right.
I'm glad you mentioned that because we're going to talk about mortgages, but we're also going to be talking about what you do in the community to help the community. You know, we're coming back. Everything's in this new year. You know, we're going to do all kinds of great things, but have you had any kind of challenges that you have not been able to address? Any new things going on, you know, with the COVID and the pandemic and all?
Excellent question. One of the biggest challenges during the pandemic has been fundraising for a lot of the nonprofits I work with. I'm an ambassador with the Safety Harbor Chamber of Commerce, and one of the biggest challenges we've had during this time has been how fundraisers have been performing and raising money for these nonprofits. In the past, you'd have maybe a silent auction, or maybe have a large event where everybody comes together.
Sure.
You've even seen some of the some of the beer trucks set up downtown on a regular basis. Actually, the beer trucks are used for fundraisers for a lot of nonprofits during the year, and they can actually raise a significant amount of money for those. We also have a wine festival, and all of these festivals that we have not only raise money for the Chamber of Commerce, but they also raise money for a lot of nonprofits. And without these large events, a lot of nonprofit organizations have suffered in their fundraising efforts. So I chair the Service and Educational Council. It's a group of nonprofits that meet once a month for the Chamber. And the reason why we meet is just to find out what are each individual needs. And one of the biggest problems a lot of the nonprofits have said this year is the fundraising efforts have had a hard haul the last year.
Of course. And you know, that's easy enough to understand. It's hard to process, but with some of the businesses cutting back, shutting down, may never come back, and things of that nature. So someone like yourself that is an advocate for the community and then some, and educating them, what are some of the things that you've actually implemented so far? I mean, we're still in the first part of the year. When did you get started? Last year? Or
Yeah, there's been a lot of changes. One event that was put together by a good friend of mine was actually to raise money and do a fundraiser online, do an online auction. So that's some of the ways they've done it.
Nice.
About everybody and their brother has started to learn how to use Zoom. So that's been the
Zoom.
latest.
What's
yeah.
that?
Yeah. I mean, if my mother could learn it, everybody can.
Hey, be careful now. I learned it.
But some of the other things have been challenging, specifically even to my field in mortgages, is we've seen a lot of people lose their jobs right up to closing.
Yeah.
It's been a hard time for a lot of people where they're thinking about buying a home or even selling their home. A lot of people have decided not to sell their home because they've come on such hard times. It's been a struggle just to maintain that home. So a lot of homes have not been for sale. So you have a market right now where less is for sale, but a lot more buyers.
Exactly.
So that's where it's really kind of driven the market. The markets have been so low too that it's driven a lot of people to consider refinancing. So it's been busy.
Yeah, you've been busy. A lot of businesses have been busy. In fact, right here at the Whistle Stop, it's great to really see that and hear that, and it gives us hope for everyone else, right?
Right, and you've seen the community do a lot of changes too. As you drive up the street, you're seeing a lot more vendors go out to the street, to be out in the open, to actually, it's wonderful that we're in Florida because we have the outside to go to and enjoy, where, you know, the winter months, that's great. We like to go outside more. When it's in the summer months, it's not something as desirable unless you're in a pool.
No, not exactly. Well, it's a beautiful day here.
Oh, it is.
In Safety Harbor. It's just really awesome. How long have you been in your business?
I've been in the mortgage field since roughly 1987.
Really?
Yep. I was actually put through college by Household International. That's why I started to work in an actual bank. And with those years, putting me through college and learning all the ins and outs of the whole banking industry, I moved to Florida back in 1992 and started in a mortgage company, and really haven't changed much since then.
So it must be your passion to work in this field.
I didn't know it. I never planned to being. I kind of fell in it. There's a lot of people who give you the same story in mortgages. We just kind of fell in it, and I was one of the few who actually got a degree in the field I'm studying, but there's a lot of people who aren't. It's an interesting field.
Well, you're helping. It's a great service for people. Can you give us? We only have less than 6 minutes remaining. I could be talking about this all day long, especially in the environment here. What are some of the things as a potential home buyer or seller? What do we need to know today? What's the latest scoop on things when it comes to mortgages?
Well, talking two sides, we have the finance side first. It's really important for people to get approved in advance. I can't tell you how many times I've had a phone call on a weekend, a complete stranger who's just calling me out of the blue, is looking at a house, and they've become pre-qualified. It's like going shopping with an empty wallet.
I know.
Well, do you know what you're getting into? Because not only should you just become pre-qualified, become pre-approved.
That's right.
Go through the whole process, have somebody walk you through their credit, and give them a plan. Because if you don't have a plan, they always say, plan to succeed, plan to fail. You're really, if you don't get ahead of the game, you're going to be unprepared for the process. It's really good to get it done a couple of months in advance, especially if you're a first-time home buyer, because you don't know what your credit situation is. You might be better prepared by the end of the process. Even maybe improve your credit before you make mistakes. I've had some people say they've done all these things to their credit before they talk to me, which were all the bad things to do.
I knew you were going to say that. As a licensed realtor myself, before the first-time buyer especially, but there's still a lot of buyers out there that don't understand that realtors will not show you homes unless you're pre-approved. Pre-approved.
Yeah.
And it makes such a difference. And the other thing is they don't know. Don't go and buy anything on time. The do's and don'ts, if you know ahead of time. Is that going to work better for them with you when it comes to going and applying?
Absolutely. You want somebody who has years of experience, and I've already said since '87, so you do the math. But the important thing is to work with somebody that you trust, and get a referral from somebody, somebody that you also know and trust.
Yes.
I can't tell you how many times people have made the worst possible decision on one of the biggest financial decisions they may ever make in their lives.
Yeah.
But most importantly, I love it when they say, well, I went on the internet and I learned all the things I need to know. I was having a lunch with a good chiropractor, a good friend of mine, and he was saying, well, I was thinking about buying a house, but I've got some credit things that I need to work on. But I went on the internet and I looked it up and I found the things that I'm going to do before I even come to talk to you. And I said, my lower back's been bothering me, but I went on the internet and I looked up those things. I'm going to take care of those myself before I come see you. He goes, point taken. Okay, we'll talk about this Monday.
That was very good. Very good.
There's a lot of information out there, but it's important to go to see somebody that's gone through all of the different scenarios.
Sure.
There's so much to know. If you're a veteran, maybe you want to consider using your VA financing. It's a wonderful, great benefit for veterans, and I love helping veterans. Another situation is maybe they've gone through some hard times from finances and they need to know how to get going again.
Yes.
They're afraid to talk to somebody, but that's the time you really do need to talk to somebody to get started.
Yes.
I had a customer 5 years ago that he had terrible credit issues and needed to go through it, and now he's coming up around full circle and he has high 700 credit scores, ready to go to do his financing, ready to buy a home again. He's so excited. He's so glad that we talked 5 years ago.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. Well, and too, there will be people that have maybe been doing well until this past year. And so I just want everybody to know that there is hope out there, and it's good to talk to a professional ahead of time. Don't try to do things on your own and go on the internet. That makes me crazy when I hear just exactly what you're saying. So you've been with the chamber for so long that you couldn't remember.
I can't remember when. I have to ask Susan. It's been a while, one way, shape, or form or another. But
well, clearly you're involved with the community and as an ambassador as well. What has the chamber done for you? How do you engage? I mean, there's probably so much since you've been with them for so long.
I think the chamber's ground zero. You need to start, if you're going to work within a community, you need to start with where you can get the most contacts or already work with the city. I actually started with the chamber to find out who would be the best nonprofit organization I'd like to give some of my time away. It's like a pastor once told me a long time ago, you're not going to have a life unless you give one away. And I became a president of the Rotary Club of Safety Harbor a long time back. Before that, I was president of the Mortgage Bankers Association in Tampa Bay. I've been involved in nonprofit organizations for a long time, and I felt that it's really important to give back to the community.
Yes.
And that ground zero starts with, I think, the chamber. Find out who does what, who's involved, who do you want to be involved with most, who actually is stepping up and being a part of the community rather than just kind of circling around the community.
Excellent points. It really, and if you're thinking about joining the chamber, believe me when I tell you, get involved. And if you've never been involved with the chamber, this is probably the most perfect time of all.
We could use you.
New beginnings, volunteer work, and you can get involved in the Safety Harbor. This community, I have a passion for a personal passion for this community. And if you live here, if you even want to start a business here, don't be afraid, right?
Yeah, get to know us. We're really good people.
Yeah.
Here in the Safety Harbor.
You really are. And it's a fantastic community and a fantastic chamber. So get involved, join up, and you may want to call this gentleman here, Mr. J. Craig Wright. Thank you so much, and thank you. We'll be right back. Hi everyone, welcome back into My Chamber TV. We're the heartbeat of the community. I'm your host, Barbara Marville Kelly, and we are featuring the Safety Harbor Chamber of Commerce today. And it's exciting because we have some fabulous guests, one of which happens to be Patsy Still's Harbor Exchange Club.
Correct.
And our producer asked you, well, what is this Harbor Exchange? And you said, well, you're going to find out. And you said, I'm well known in the community, so I'm going to just turn this segment over to you. Why are you so well known?
I don't know. I've been in this community for a long time, so the community is home. And
That's a good
raised
thing.
3 children here and worked here in nonprofits and social services.
I can
for
tell.
a long time.
I can feel your heart. I can feel your heart. So
Yeah.
let's talk about this Harbor Exchange Club.
Sure.
What does that entail?
The Harbor Exchange Club is a civic organization that is all about giving back and being of service to the community. So the exchange clubs nationally have been around since 1911. So
Really?
it's not a new thing. A lot of people know of different clubs that do good work in the community, but the Exchange Club is special because it's all about the community and giving back.
Sure.
So in my work all throughout my lifetime with nonprofits and helping children, for me it's action. What I love about the Exchange Club is it's geared around networking with a cause. So we get together, but not to meet and to be with each other and to network. We get together to figure out what are we going to do next to help this community.
I love that.
Yeah,
You're a community with a purpose.
That's
It's your
absolutely.
purpose, your mission.
Absolutely.
So
Right.
so give us some examples.
Right, so our pillars are, the national pillar is prevention of child abuse. So all the exchange clubs nationwide have that as one of their pillars. And then also veterans and Americanism, to honor our veterans and to help where we can. Also youth leadership and doing fundraising and community service for our community. And Safety Harbor has been such a great place for us to land for our meetings. We meet at the VFW. We've met at Brady's before, barbecue. We're very welcomed here. We're part of the chamber. The chamber does so much for us to get the word out, for people to join us in our action. So right now we're planning a cornhole tournament, and it's our 4th time doing our cornhole tournament. Speaking loud because of them over there. Cornhole! So we're doing a cornhole tournament, which helps us toss out child abuse. It'll be the 4th time. It'll be at the Harbor Bar, and it's March 6th. We're going to raise money to just give right back to the community, to other local nonprofits that are based in this area, who are doing the great work. So that's our way of helping our local nonprofits, giving the money directly to those charities.
That is so wonderful, and I trust they're very successful, especially for the cause. So how is it that you help with the abused kids? And I don't mean to sound ignorant,
That's
but I
okay,
want you
that's
to
okay.
share that with everyone.
The way that we help is to help those who are doing the work. So for example, there's a lot of nonprofits here locally, and there's a lot of groups that work with children to prevent child abuse. Eckerd Connects, for example, the Heart Gallery of Pinellas and Pasco, Maddie Williams, Ready for Life, Pinellas. So those are just some of the charities that we've helped in the past and will be helping again, I'm sure. We decide as a membership what organization really could use the extra help. And with COVID and with all the things happening in the world right now, everyone wants to do something to help. So Harbor Exchange is a great way for people to say, I did something today.
Yes.
You know, even through last year, we were able to raise money for veterans to help house homeless veterans by doing a pancake dinner. And so the things that we do are not a direct hands-on usually with children, because children are very protected anyway from,
Yeah, exactly. They're near and dear to my heart
Right,
as well.
right.
So is there any tips that you can give anyone out in our audience? Hopefully there is no one out there that may suspect any type of child abuse. Is there any tips that you can give them, us, we?
For the child abuse prevention?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, know your neighbors, get to know your neighbors. If you suspect something, then you should report it. 1-800-96-ABUSE. It's for everybody to make sure that children are protected. And it can be made anonymously, but you do want to make sure that, if you have a concern about a youngster, they don't have a voice. We have to be the voice for them, and we have to be the ones that call and say, hey, I don't know if anything's happening here, but I think there is. And the investigators will come out and check it out.
Yeah.
And in most of the cases, there's things that can be done in the community without having to get involved.
Mm-hmm.
And in the severe cases, then those children wind up in the foster care system of care.
Excellent. So, gosh, I could sit and talk to you about this all day.
Let's do it.
I know. We've got about 5, and we have about 5 minutes remaining. So, for the children that may need help, and recognizing them, I'm guessing that probably calling anonymously or whatever, but
Right.
What about the children that aren't being abused, and we have parents that we want to get to prevent that?
Right.
How are
Right.
we educating them?
Well, the Harbor Exchange Club really doesn't go too far into the how do we educate them. What we do, though, is we have a little free library here in Safety Harbor
good.
that we built.
Okay.
And we also go to, we have different restaurants who donate meals once a month to bring over to the Sheriff's Youth Ranch. So we're always providing things for those who are helping those children and
Gotcha.
families. And families can reach out between 211 Pinellas and other ways that, if you know somebody, we have a lot of folks in our Harbor Exchange Club members that know a great deal about, the beat that's happening in our community and what resources are available. Becoming a member, you not only get to help in different areas that you might not have been before, but you meet great people. We have about 25 members. It started in 2017 here locally, and we really want to grow our membership so that we have more people who are saying, okay, we can do something about this over here. And our members drive what actions we take. So, for this quarter, we're working on our fundraising so that we can give back. And next quarter is Child Abuse Prevention Month, and we usually go to the Capitol. I don't know if we'll be doing that this year, but we have Child Abuse Week in the Capitol, and really just letting people know about what's happening in the community and just ways that they can get involved. But if you really like hands-on, this is the club for you, because we're going to take action throughout any pandemic, throughout time. We'll meet virtually if you don't want to meet in person, but we have our VFW spot, which is great. There's so much space to spread out and social distance at the VFW. We're very thankful for that. But getting together and putting our minds together is the main thing.
I think that's wonderful. You sound very passionate about what you're doing, and unfortunately the statistics are up for child abuse, and just a lot of
It
abuse
is.
out there.
It
Have you
is.
found that since the pandemic?
Yes and no. There's been some good and some not so good things happen from that. But everyone needs help right now. And the main thing is just to be like, what can we do?
Yes.
And a lot of us feel like there's so much we don't have the power to do right now because of the, like our hands are tied and as far as, being able to be out in the community. But there's always something you can do.
I believe
and
that
we
too.
find a way to be like, okay, we raised $4,000. Let's give that to the local nonprofits that are helping.
I like that. You've said the word action. I can't tell you how many times, and that's a power word. So I know you're taking action. So how long have you been a member with the chamber?
Since 2018.
Since 2018.
So, right, and I'm the president this year. Woo-woo.
Oh, congratulations. Good for you.
Yeah.
So how has it been helping? We've had a challenge this last year, but you didn't let that stop you, right?
We did not. And of course, I came on board as the president in July. I was like, we're moving, we're action. We're doing our cornhole tournament. We're gonna, donate to veterans. We usually do the honor flights where we go and watch the veterans come back from DC, and those are off for right now. So a lot of our Americanism traditions are kind of on hold, and we're making up for that by trying to raise money to help the veterans. So we helped house homeless veterans and give them, a head start, helping
Absolutely.
children, helping youth leadership. We also have awards in the year for youth going on to college and scholarships and all. So the exchange clubs, and just one more thing, if you don't mind, the exchange clubs, the exchange clubs locally, if anyone has heard of Ribfest, then they know Exchange Club.
Okay.
And maybe people don't know our local area here as much because we're still new, but Ribfest was put on by Exchange Club in St. Pete. And even though that tradition's not here anymore, we're revolving. And now we have the cornhole tournament, and I want the cornhole tournament to be as well known as Ribfest. That's my goal.
Well, we're going to help you do
Safety
that.
Harbor.
We're going to help you do that with My Chamber TV.
That's right.
Patsy Stills with Harbor Exchange Club. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for joining us. I can't wait to hear more of what you're doing, and I want to get your card.
Okay.
Maybe I can help contribute somehow. But this is such a wonderful thing that you're doing in the community, and that's what it's all about, is community, getting involved, being proactive, being accountable, and giving back, making a difference. I'm glad you're doing that.
Thank you so much.
We'll be right back.
Have a good day.
Hi everyone, welcome back into My Chamber TV. We're the heartbeat of the Tampa Bay community. I'm your host, Barbara Marville Kelly. Thanks so much for joining us. Today we're featuring the Safety Harbor Chamber of Commerce, and we're here live in the studio outside at the Whiskey
a go-go.
The Whiskey a go-go. No, it's not. But anyway, we are here outside and featuring all the guests that are here with the Chamber of Commerce of Safety Harbor, a nice little town. And my next guest happens to be Michael Brundage.
Hello.
Great to have you. We were just chitter-chattering away just before the show. I had taken a look at your nice, very compelling video on your website, and it made me want to call you, so I feel like I know you already because you gave a lot of valid points on what you do, what you specialize in, but you have some really good history that I'm going to let you go ahead and talk about, and then let's give our audience some of those bullet points on why they should call you.
Okay, thank
Okay?
you. I appreciate that, Barbara, and that's exactly what I wanted to do, is talk a little bit about my business. But first I want to tell you, I think I have sort of a unique perspective on the city of Safety Harbor, because I've lived here since 1985. I've worked here full time since 2017. So the way I kind of look at that, I have a different relationship with this city now than I did over all those years before, because what I did is I moved my law business from Tampa, where I worked for many years, to Safety Harbor, downtown Safety Harbor, right in the heart of Main Street. I kind of view myself as maybe a John Grisham novel character, as some guy who, you know, decided to go back close to home, which is what I did, and practice law in my town that has always been my town. And I think that actually that background sort of uniquely assists other people when they meet and talk to me, because I kind of have at least two different perspectives on this place that I think is very helpful.
You know, it is. You make a really valid point, living in a community where you practice, because I would guess that you would have more of a pulse for the community and more of a pulse for the people and what's going on.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
And I find that to be very gratifying, because a lot of my clients are from this town, as you might expect, and you know, I kind of know them, I know the town, there's a familiarity there, there's a casual yet serious approach that's there, which kind of sort of mirrors this town. It's very casual, but it also is a town that is up and coming and, you know, moving forward and doing great things.
Yeah, it really is, and I'm so glad to see that things are bouncing back. We do have a lot of hope, no matter, I mean, in spite of what we've all gone through in this last year. I'm kind of bored talking about it.
know.
I love talking more about positivity and businesses that are thriving and surviving, and new businesses that are starting up.
Right.
Now, that is your real expertise is in business law.
That's correct.
So let's talk about that. What kind of tips can we give business owners or potential business owners that want to start up a business in the throes of a pandemic?
Right. You know, one thing that I'll borrow from an earlier guest you had on today is, despite the pandemic, the financial markets are pretty healthy, especially the debt market. So this is a pretty good time to buy real estate if you can afford to do that.
Or if you can find it.
If you can find it and afford it. You know, I think the fact of the pandemic has really made us, as a community, kind of realize what really matters and what doesn't really matter.
Yes.
And one thing that has come out of this to me is communicating can be done a lot of different ways, not just interpersonal like we're used to, but we've now sort of grown into this, you know, it's easier to communicate with people than it ever was in the past. And I think that's something that the COVID experience may be a positive, that we come out of that, you know, recognizing the things that we should focus on in our lives and as a community.
Absolutely. My new word this year is introspection. And there's more people going to from within, and really discovering a lot in themselves as a person and as a business owner. Because you really, I'll tell you, it's been a challenge, hasn't it?
It has really been a challenge. I mean, it in my experience, because I do deal with a lot of people who have issues that have come up as a result of the pandemic or not. I've talked to a lot of people about, you know, the things they've gone through, and a lot of those stories have very happy middles. I don't know if it's the end, but the middle is turning out to be kind of happy, because, as you mentioned, we have businesses that are opening. There's sort of a shift of how things work, you know, post-COVID. As the mayor mentioned earlier, that the restaurants on Main Street in particular have really adapted well to doing an outdoor experience, which, you know, allows them to continue to be there for people to go and eat and enjoy the community. From the law standpoint, one of the most often asked questions I get have to do with financial troubles. And I think one answer to that is, I think people who feel like they're in trouble, they feel like their finances are out of control, they don't have any hope. I would hope that I'm someone they could call. I do offer to do free consulting with people, and I've found a lot of people have come to talk to me, and unfortunately not necessarily hired me, because we were able to work out a plan for them to do something, you know, to alleviate their concerns. But on the other hand, I've also had a lot of clients who have engaged me to help them sort of navigate these sort of difficult waters we're in now.
That's a very good statement. Navigate, putting one foot in front of the next and moving on. What do we do?
Well, I think the first thing we do is we keep moving forward.
Yes.
And I think that may be an overstated cliche, but I think it makes the right statement. And I think we've done that. I think as a country we've done that.
Oh,
It's impressive to look back and see how well we've survived this horrible pandemic. And I think a lot of it has to do with the spirit and the heart of Americans and communities like ours.
You bet.
I really do believe that.
I'm glad to hear that, because yes, we as Americans do have that spirit. We're strong, we're tough, and we never give up.
Yep, and we've
Never.
shown that.
Yeah.
We've shown it day in and day out
We
through
have.
this pandemic.
Absolutely. Well, you've been a member with Safety Harbor Spa, or Safety Harbor.
I'm not a member of the spa anymore.
I'm thinking about that. It's right over here.
Yeah.
But you've been a member with the Chamber of Commerce for how long?
I joined the chamber when I moved my business over to Safety Harbor in 2017, and my experience there has been fantastic. In fact, I'm the chairman of the Chamber of Commerce this year.
Very cool.
And
Congrats.
it's been great. It's been really a wonderful experience. Gotten to meet a lot more people than I knew before. I do 100% affirm and agree with everything that's been said on your show today about how wonderful this city is and how well we've persevered.
Yeah.
And one thing I do really want to say is part of how our chamber does as well as it does is we have a tremendous relationship with the city of Safety Harbor. They understand our role, we understand theirs, and we work in together. And it's a very excellent relationship. I think that is something we have to look forward to growing more even in the future.
Oh, that is really powerful, because I have heard in the past some chambers there was conflict, and if there's conflict with your own city and you get the chamber, then
That's
I
right.
don't think that works out too well.
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't, and I think we've done. I can't say I have, but the chamber itself has done a fantastic job of integrating with the city, but keeping their focus on what our real constituency is, and that's the business owners in this town. I, as one of those, can tell you that the chamber has done a great job of helping people market, especially in times like this. I think that's something the chamber really offers that maybe a lot of people don't recognize, is the fact that they can help you market your business. By giving you advice and by programs that the chamber also offers.
Yes, they really are the go-to, because we do a number of chamber shows. And what I've learned in the last, going on 7-8 years doing these shows, I've learned that we're such a community. It's like a family community in each of these towns. And you're right, they really do help you. And if you happen to have a business that you would like to go ahead and get out in the community, what better place than to go to the Chamber of Commerce, especially if you're moving into the surrounding areas or right here in the heart of Safety Harbor. Check them out, because that way you become accountable for your business. You get proactive. Don't just join and then say, oh, that didn't work for me. But did you partake in any of the events, right? Don't you feel that that's important?
Oh, it's absolutely important.
Yeah.
I think that for me, for one example, one of the first places I went when I decided to move my business back over here was the Chamber of Commerce. And one thing I found that's not all that surprising is they are plugged in. They know everybody in town.
Yeah.
They kind of know who's doing well, who's not. But the point is that's the information command center in a sense for this town.
I like that, command center. Well, yeah, you really said a lot on your business and on the chamber, and it's great to have you on My Chamber TV, because this is another way that we're able to give back to the community, is interview business partners with the chamber. And like we had Susan on today from the chamber. It's just really a wonderful way to connect to people, and you'll be able to see the show here and enjoy even down the road, because it's archived.
That's right.
It's great.
Right.
It's great
That's wonderful.
advertising.
And I thank you so much for having me today.
Thank
I really
you.
enjoyed talking.
Thank you. I definitely want to get your card too and share the word, and
Will do.
we'll see you next time on My Chamber TV.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back into My Chamber TV. We are the heartbeat of the Tampa Bay community. Today, we are featuring the Safety Harbor Chamber of Commerce, and we are right here in the heart of town, right off of Main Street, and we're actually featuring Whistle Stop Grill and Bar. I'm sitting here with our GM, and his name is Louis Kinney. You were just giving me some nice history.
Oh yeah, a lot of history here.
This is a cool place to hang out.
Best place in town.
And it's a beautiful day, sun, blue skies, and all that.
Well, these are the days we need, being an outdoor restaurant.
You are so fortunate, aren't you?
Yeah, very, very.
How's business for you these days?
Despite everything going on in the world, we've stayed afloat, and being a fully outdoor restaurant, we've definitely been a destination spot for new and old customers.
That's really great. You know, Safety Harbor is such a hub here. There's so much here, but you are on such a great piece of property location, and you were giving us a little history earlier on. How long has this actually been here?
It's been a food service establishment for just about 60 years.
Wow.
Frosty Harbor from 59-ish to 94. And became Whistle Stop in 95 and has been that way ever since.
Ever since. And you've been GM for how long?
Just over 5 years.
Just over 5 years. Have you always been in the restaurant business?
For the last 21 years, yeah.
Good for you, so you know your stuff.
I like to think so.
Well, if you don't, nobody else will, right? Well, I love the way it's set up, and you also have entertainment, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Two nights a week we run live music, Friday and Saturday nights.
Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, we had for a while the longest running open mic in Pinellas County. Hopefully we'll be bringing that back soon, and we do that on Wednesday nights.
And what happens with open mic?
We have a host, and a lot of good local musicians come out to play.
Good.
Usually we wind up having like an all-star night. People that play our gigs will show up and just play a quick set and hang out and have a good time.
That's just so fun. It's just so organic. I love
Oh, yeah.
it. Okay, so we were talking about the menu and the story about the fried green tomatoes. Let's
Yes.
talk a little bit about that.
Well, from the movie Fried Green Tomatoes,
Uh-huh.
you started seeing places called Whistle Stop spawning around the country, especially being near tracks. That helps out.
I know.
And in the book Fanny Flagg's Fried Green Tomatoes, there was a recipe for the fried green tomato batter, and Dawn Pendole, the owner here, used up that recipe and spun up the batter, and now we use that to batter up our fried green tomatoes, buffalo shrimp, anything that sees the batter. And yeah, it's just it's been a staple here forever.
I'm guessing it's probably one of your hero dishes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Everybody comes for the fried green tomatoes.
Yeah, that's great. What else is on the menu? You're getting me hungry.
We do a lot of local, as fresh, local, organic as possible.
Oh.
We get grass-fed beef from Ocala. We have free-range chicken across the board on the menu. We actually, our pickles are made by Lay and Low Pickles. A good friend of mine, Joey Conover, started the company a couple of years ago. He's a Safety Harbor resident. So we get our pickles from him that go in our fried pickles that use that same batter. And also the pickles go on our barbecue pork sandwich.
Nice.
We have a good friend of ours, Joe Kenyon, who just started up Barbecue Pit Sauce, and he makes that in town here. And we will be using his original style on our barbecue pork sandwich, and then his hot style, the Hotel Oscar Tango, will be going on our barbecue wings.
So you've got something hot for people that like
Oh,
that
yeah.
tangy, hot flavor, and then something a little bit more mild.
Absolutely, and it's done locally.
It's done locally, so everything's
big
nice
deal.
and fresh. I love the free range you're talking about and the grass-fed beef. I know that's all the rage for people that are really health conscious.
Oh, yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about the history and just your experience here, because you're set up so neat. You've got parking, you've got inside, outside, you have it all.
Well, it started out as basically a shell. It was just a building and nothing else going on.
Uh-huh.
When it was Frosty Harbor, it was mainly ice cream and minimal food. And then when Dawn took over as owner in 95, they started adding all the food. And actually the first time I ate here was 99. I got a burger at the window, and there was a picnic table somewhere up around here.
Really?
And that's how you got your food.
So you
And-
extended all the way out from
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
It started
nice.
out small little bar, beer and wine only. About 15 years ago, upgraded to full liquor. Now we have 18 taps. 16 of those 18 taps come within 25 miles of here.
Very nice.
We have a brewery right around the corner that we do a lot of work with. They make our gold ale for us.
I love it's a family affair in
Absolutely.
Safety Harbor, that's for sure. So you're a member of the chamber, the Safety Harbor Chamber of Commerce. How long have you been a member?
As far as I know, definitely 5 years. I know Dawn has been a member for way longer than that.
Very good. How's it working out for you as far as engaging in the community?
Oh, it's amazing. And actually, we just started getting into some new talks about how the town events are going to go in the future, and it's going to be a lot more inclusive with the businesses and the people. And we feel that it's going to take the town and everything else in a huge, great direction.
Can you give us a couple of hints, or is that secret right
Oh,
now?
no, we're working on Third Friday right now. That's the big
Oh, are
deal.
you?
So if and when we are able to get back to our normal Third Friday deal, we're going to have a lot more input on how that runs, all the
Good.
restaurants and bars, and we've kind of formed our own little subcommittee that we just stay in contact with each other. I mean, all the places in town, we're all very good friends. We all talk about business together. We have a softball league that meets every Sunday down at the fields, and all the owners and managers get together, and we get to bounce ideas off of each other and see who's doing what.
See, I love that. That way, everybody knows who's on first. Everybody knows how to schedule in the community, so you're not overlapping and all. I mean, there's just something for everyone here
Oh yeah,
in
all the
Safety Harbor.
musicians play everywhere. So we share ideas rather than keep them from each other and try to cut each other out.
So what are your hours here?
Right now, because of the events going on, we've shortened up a little bit. Sunday through Thursday, we're open 11 to 9. Friday and Saturday, 11 to 10.
That's still good hours.
Oh yeah, normally on Friday and Saturday, we'll stay open till 11. And it's starting to feel like it's okay to do that again.
Yeah.
So our musicians play till 10, so sometimes they'll play a little longer and keep us here a little bit later, but it's not too late, so we're all right.
I'm glad to see that, especially being open. And what's your situation with the masks and all of that?
Everybody's been very good with it. You know.
Good, good.
We've had minimal issue.
Good.
And yeah, everyone seems to get it by now.
Yeah, if we haven't gotten it by now, we're not going to. I just think it's a blessing to be able to get back out among friends and family and go to really good restaurants that care about the community. And that's the one thing about these close-knit communities is everybody does work with one another, works with the customers, and your menu is phenomenal. I can't wait to test you out maybe the weekend. We are at 915 Main Street, right in the heart of Safety Harbor. So if you want to come down here and sit outside, it's a beautiful day, and you open today at 11.
Yep.
All right, and again till 9?
Till 9, yes.
That's a nice spread. It really is.
Yeah, happy hours from 4 to 7 every day. So.
Awesome, awesome. You've got everything here. Did we miss anything?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. That's great. So
We do have one of the most friendliest staffs you'll ever meet.
Oh, that makes a big difference.
Oh yeah, no, they love it here, and we all love it here.
Yeah, and you probably don't have a big turnover either if they love it here.
That happens, but
It happens now and
yeah,
again.
no, I mean we have some lifers. We have my assistant manager Besnick and kitchen manager Kinney. They've been working here 20 years. So,
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Oh, so even before you?
Yep.
Oh, that's wonderful. And so they must like you for staying on, right? And you never know what's going to happen in the future.
It always works.
It always works. Well, we have a couple of minutes remaining. What are some of your own personal private favorites on your menu?
Oh, first thing I will always go to is the Florida Club Wrap, and I'll get it with the grass-fed beef. It's ground beef, bacon, avocado, lettuce, tomato, a little blue cheese dressing, and whole wheat wrap.
That sounds really healthy.
Very good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What are some of the other things if people are health conscious?
Our buffalo cauliflower bites are the best sold appetizer and third best sold item on the whole menu.
And they're fried?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, we fry those up, toss them in our own house buffalo sauce, serve with a little side of ranch, and it's good to go.
Is that hot, real
It's
hot?
not crazy, no.
No?
No. It
Just a little
depends-
kick?
It depends how you like. If you like spicy, it's not. If you don't like spicy, it's probably pretty hot.
Very nice. Well, I'll tell you, how many square feet you have here to seat? How many do we
Enough.
seat? Enough. You don't
Yeah.
ever have to turn anybody away? People aren't standing in lines?
No, most we ever hit a wait anyways, about 20, 30 minutes, if that.
But it's worth it.
Yeah, normally we have about 170 chairs. Right now we're operating around 130
Really?
with the space. So
Wow.
yeah,
And
it works.
Yeah, it does work. And I like the spaciousness. You've got chairs and wrapped around a tree outside, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
nice. We're out here on the deck, which is really lovely.
Oh, yeah.
So I tell you, to be able to come out, this is so refreshing. I'm enjoying this, just doing my interviews.
This is the best spot to sit this time of year
Yeah?
when the sun's out.
Oh yeah, the sun's, where is it? Kind of
Right
behind
up-
us.
right up.
It's shining
It'll
on
be
you.
here all through lunch.
It'll be here all through lunch. So I'll tell you what, you can come down here and be toasty warm, but still have a nice breeze. And I tell you, to have something like this right at your fingertips, I mean, there's so many many, I bet, that walk over here too from the town that live around here as
Oh,
well.
a lot of walk-ups. That's
Yeah.
why we don't need all the parking spaces.
Yeah.
We only have 9 spots.
That's true. But that's true because there's so many businesses and restaurants all around here, and you can spend a whole day walking around and just in and out of some of the shops. One of these days I'd love to live in Safety Harbor. I'm in Tarpon Springs right now, but it's always been very charming to come to Safety Harbor, and that's one of the reasons why we're here featuring the Safety Harbor Chamber of Commerce. Want to thank you, Louis Kinney, Whistle Stop Grill and Bar.
Thank you very much.
All righty. And thank you for being there. We're going to be right back with more on My Chamber TV. Hi everyone, welcome back into My Chamber TV. We're the heartbeat of the Tampa Bay community. I'm your host, Barbara Marville Kelly. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm very excited because we are featuring the Safety Harbor Chamber of Commerce, and we're right here in the heart of Safety Harbor on location. And with me happens to be Susan Petersen. Thank you so much for joining us and making this happen for us.
Thank you for being
And we
here.
also just happen to have the mayor, Joe
Ayoub.
Ayoub.
You just happen to have them.
Just happen to have
randomly walking by.
You didn't have anything to do, so you just showed up, right?
Yeah.
I doubt that. You're a busy man, you're a busy lady, and just, I don't even know where to start because I'm so happy to have both of you as an interview, and I have a personal passion for Safety Harbor myself. So let's talk about the community, and I can probably be quiet and just turn it all over to the two of you on what's happening in Safety Harbor these days. Hello, Safety Harbor these days. And you've been with Safety Harbor for 7.5 years. And there's a reason for that.
Oh, I love this town. I've actually lived here over 40 years. And, this job just kind of helps you really connect with the businesses and what's going on. So.
Is that what that keeps your drive going?
Yeah, it's exciting to see it grow and progress and the businesses thrive, before COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And so now it's exciting to see them slowly come back.
I'm glad to hear you say that, because to watch what had happened and coming back, especially with the new year and all of that going on, I think people are much more positive now. So Mayor, how long have you been mayor, may I ask?
So, been mayor since 2014.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
So-
Very good. So how have you made a difference in the community?
I take that back, 2017. I was thinking of something else. 2017, so 4 years now. What was the next question? I was doing the math. I was like, why did that question stump me out of all the questions?
It's okay. How did you make it? How are you making a difference in the community?
So, our focus, I think, especially with regards to the chamber, is focusing on the downtown. A lot, we're trying to make sure the businesses prosper, even though we got the COVID pandemic going on. So we're just really making sure we have a vibrant downtown. We like to make sure we got great parks and quality of life for all of our residents. And those are the big focus areas.
What would you say would be some of the main attractions? Either one of you jump in. I know because I've attended a number of different business meetings, network meetings, and all that. What are some of the main attractions here?
I think we've got a great linear parkway. We've got a lot of great parks. We got great walking trails that go right through Felipe Park. We have a waterfront that's spectacular right behind the Safety Harbor Spa, and it kind of runs north and south further along the area. So that's one of the main attractions, the pier. Our main street is fantastic. We got a lot of great businesses. The main street's been evolving a lot over the last several years. We got a lot of new businesses coming to town, and we have great events. We attract people from all over Tampa Bay and actually the state, depending on the event, that come to our downtown for our events. So those are the big highlights.
And so those events take a good little while to plan, correct?
Oh, yes.
Like the
Yeah.
the year before?
Yeah, it's a year-round planning process.
So
for sure, yeah.
how has this last year, I hate bringing it up all the time, but let's face it, it's reality.
Yeah.
We've been in a challenging situation. So how are your events this upcoming year? Are you keeping to push back? Are you moving forward in some ways?
We have had to push back a major one that would have happened in February to May, so we're hoping that happens. Our Art and Seafood on the Waterfront event.
Oh,
It's a very
yes.
successful event for us the past couple of years, so we're hoping that it comes off this year.
Oh, I hope
Yeah.
so too. Say a little prayer for you, because it's
Yeah.
so nice to see business thriving and surviving, just like Whistle Stop, where we're here on location outside. It's beautiful, and they're moving forward. Have you noticed new businesses opening up in spite of things?
Absolutely, we have.
Yeah, we just had a ribbon cutting, was it last week or the week
Yes.
before? So yeah, there's actually been several new businesses that have opened up. Corp, which is a new vegan restaurant and market right on Main Street, opened about a week ago. Or we had the ribbon cutting about a week ago. And there's been some others that have opened up too. And we've done some ribbon cuttings, and from what I hear, they're doing good.
Awesome. I
Yeah.
love to hear that.
Yeah.
So you see, life goes on in spite of things that happen. And you know what? Sometimes for the better as well. So what's it like heading up the Chamber of Commerce here in Safety Harbor? It's such a popular chamber, a popular town, popular events.
It is, and we operate the Visitor Center right here at 200 Main Street, and it's just always so refreshing to see visitors come in every day and just say, I didn't know this little town was here. I love it. I want to live here. The number one request we get from visitors is about real estate, because once people come, they want to stay.
Yeah.
So yeah, and watching the little businesses, survive and hopefully thrive through this is very encouraging. We have to think outside the box a little bit now with events, and the businesses are also having to look at different types of marketing. So we help them with that. And
I
we're
like to hear that.
And we're thankful that the city has, partnered with us to support the businesses. They help us run the visitor center, and they helped us do a marketing campaign for the town through social media and some other avenues. So, working together is what it takes.
Those are key words. It really is. So stepping out of the box, can you give us an example on what, just for example, in this last year, stepping out of the box
Well,
for you guys?
For the chamber, we've had to postpone 3 major events, or cancel, I should say. So we had to think of something else to do. So we did a golf tournament in November that worked really well for us. In fact, we're going to do another one in April. That's something we had never done before. So
It's outdoors.
Yeah, it's outdoors. You can do those. So we hopped on that opportunity.
Good choice. That's pretty easy,
Yeah.
stepping out of the box on that. Anything you'd like to share, Mayor? We have just less than 4 minutes remaining, and I know there's a lot that you're doing in the community, and you're obviously connected with the Safety Harbor. What else? What do you have planned coming down the pike here?
So one thing a lot of residents are always asking is, when are we going to start Third Friday again? And we were hoping to have it started early this year. We're looking, we're monitoring the COVID situation, and just, it is what it is, but cases have been going up. So we've been pushing back the Third Friday. With that said, even though the city isn't closing down Main Street, our Third Fridays, or any Friday for that matter of the month, have still been rather vibrant. You walk up and down, there's people walking up and down. Most of them have masks on. They can social distance. They're going to the restaurants. They're taking food out. They're hanging out. And so people are still getting out and enjoying the downtown. Whereas I think in the past, we kind of needed the events to draw the people. And now that the downtown is, it's been evolving and changing and doing better, the events are an add-on rather than the necessary, draw to make to bring the people to town. So it's like a bonus now when we can finally do it. But people are still out there and they're having a good time.
I think people are appreciating being able to get out, mask or no mask, really.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you have such charm in this community. It really, you can't even get everything covered in a day if you want to come down here and just hang out, go in some of the shops, come for breakfast, come for lunch, dinner. I mean, here at the Whistle Stop, they're open until 11, which is really great. They open at 11, that's 12 hours, that's great, right? Has it ever been, I don't think it's ever been shut down, the street, in this last year, no?
The complete street hasn't been shut down.
The complete? No.
No.
We
think
haven't closed
so.
the street down. No.
No.
I didn't think so.
No.
No.
That's awesome. So anything else special coming up that you can think of?
Well, like I said, we're hoping to maybe reimagine our third Friday a little bit when it does resume, by really focusing on the downtown businesses, making it all about them. So we're looking forward to that reimagined type of third Friday, whenever that's possible.
Yeah, one of our biggest events of the year is the Wine Festival.
That's what I hear.
And it's in November. So we had to cancel it in 2020, but we're only in January now. So I'm being very hopeful that we can do a wine festival this year, given that it's not till November. And I'm optimistic, and I think we'll be able to do it. So I think that's something that a lot of our residents always look forward to. And we get a lot of visitors, like I said, from outside Safety Harbor that come to that. It's a big draw. So I think the people in Tampa Bay are going to be pretty fired up if we can get that, make that happen this year, which I think we will be able to.
Oh, I hope so, because that just sound like so much fun.
It is. And in the meantime, like I said, we got great parks. In the last 2 years, we opened a new park right on Main Street, the Baranoff Park, which is literally catty corner from a Starbucks. So it's just, you know what? It's good that not that we had the foresight to plan for a pandemic, but we had the foresight to plan for all this green space to give people options to do things outside. And now that the weather's great, people have options. So even if they don't want to sit inside a restaurant or a bar, they can go have a picnic and still be right on Main Street at the Baranoff Park, or go down to the Veterans Park on the waterfront, on the bay, and just have a good time with their friends and family. So still got a lot of options.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so glad that you were able to come for your interview here for the Safety Harbor Chamber of Commerce. Susan Petersen and Joe Ayoub, Mayor. We did it.
Thank you so
much.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you
you
Barbara.
for being out there. And we'll be back with My Chamber TV.